the Mets? What the hell are they doing?
Well, Rich, that is an excellent question, my friend, and one that we are hearing a lot around the industry. This is confusing. It has to begin. I think if we're going to talk about the Mets, you got to begin by talking about how Brodie Van Wagenen got this job. And from talking to sources last wintertime, Brodie had told ownership there that he could take this job and that they would not have to do a rebuild. That was what he said. This team can win now with some modifications. If you hire me, I will help you win in the next couple of years without having to do a rebuild. And that was the genesis of the Cano trade and Diaz. And, of course, that trade immediately has not worked out. For the Mets to win that trade, they would have had to win a division or a playoff berth basically this year or next year. And they're already 0-1, and unless they really change things around for next year, it's not going to happen next year either. And so I think they're just trying to make as many moves as they can now to change the conversation and change the roster. And getting Stroman, I think they got him at a fair price. But to your point, Rich, to what end? Where are you going with this? And if at the end of the day they're able to trade Wheeler for a good return and Syndergaard for a good return in the next day, then I think they can at least say, you know what, we've got a competitive club. We've got a player in Stroman who's from Long Island. He comes back home. That's a good story that you can sell to New York. I get that.
Yeah,
but unless they're able to trade Syndergaard and Wheeler for really good returns that almost restock the system of the guys they gave up to get Cano and Diaz, then it's just a merry-go-round. And they're spinning in place here. And oh, by the way, the Braves are a much better club than them. And even right now, the Nationals are too. And the Phillies, you probably would say, are as well. So they're stuck right now in the middle, Rich. And it's in isolation, the Stroman deal was a fair exchange for them. But I'm just not sure that the Mets really know where all of this is going based on what I'm seeing them doing right now.
Well, I mean, to use the Few Good Men analogy, John Morosi of MLB Network, the fans are, I guess, Syndergaard is Santiago. The fans have ordered him not to be touched. Then why are they ordering a code red on Syndergaard? What possible reason could they have for taking a clear A-list pitcher who the fans love and gives the Mets name recognition in a Yankee town, with all due respect? Mm-hmm. Why in the world is he even being moved or considered to be moved? And bringing in Stroman for what? I mean, I don't understand what they're trying to achieve and how that might affect the next 24 hours, John. What do you think?
Well, it's a very fair point, Rich. And I think the reason why you would trade Syndergaard now is that you feel as though the Cano-Diaz deal was a mistake.
Oh boy.
Whether they want to admit that or not, this is them throwing the car in reverse and say, wait a minute, that was not a good idea. We have to do something different here. Because what they've done, and this is where you really get into trouble, if you mistime your window, if you tell yourself or your owner that you're ready to win and you're actually not, and you make moves in that direction, then you're in trouble because you've given up your better prospects, which the Mets did in that trade, and now all of a sudden you're like, well, wait a minute. We're not as good in the present as we thought we were going to be, and now we have set ourselves back for the future. So that's a really bad place to be. In New York or anywhere in the United States to play baseball, they're in a bad spot. And so the reason you trade Syndergaard is that you feel as though you could at least get back some of the value that you lost in a trade that's clearly not working out. So at least I would give them credit for the old adage of when you're digging a hole, stop digging, and then try to reassess things. That's kind of what they're doing now, except, Rich, the problem here is that they've got a pitcher in Syndergaard who, to your point, is popular in New York and is not necessarily having his best season. In fact, he's having his worst season. So how much of a fix is it to really trade someone who has had great value at a time when his value is down? Now, the last few outings have been better, and he's been scouted, and teams know what he's got. But I am very skeptical that they'll be able to get fair value, at least what they think his value is based on what he's done in the past, based on the fact that he's having a little bit of a down year by his own standards. And by the way, Rich, I would say this, and you certainly know this from your connections to New York, I would just say the chances of Syndergaard being traded to the Yankees are effectively zero.
No, I'm sure.
I do not see any plausible way they deal in the city and trade away one of their more recognizable players to their arch rival, at least in terms of winning the back page headline.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.